Hi, this is Jeffrey Kurt Financial Group. Today's Monday, July 21, 2025. Markets continuing the rally at the beginning of the week here. I'm doing this around midday, and stocks are up in the morning. A lot going on this week, and primarily it's earnings, but there are some other important things that we'll talk about in a second. But 70 to 80 companies of the S&P 500 will be reporting their second quarter earnings this week. And other companies outside the S&P 500 would also be reporting. An earnings report's kind of looking backwards, but there will be some news within the reports. But also equally important is the guidance and discussion with management about what they see going forward, especially given the tariff environment and all the different policies and interest rates and like that. So anything I guess could move the markets. Some of the bigger ones will be more closely watched as well. But the other big thing is Jerome Powell is doing a speech tomorrow. So who knows what that is going to contain, but that's tomorrow. And then later in the week we've got existing home sales, new home sales, global PMI, and durable goods orders coming out as well. So again, those will be watched, but I think the earnings will probably be the main focus. Looking out to next week, though, which could influence this week, is we've got on Wednesday, the 30th, the FOMC, the Federal Open Market Committee meeting and decision on interest rates. So I don't think there's any decision or any movement going to be on interest rates. But again, the language, the press release, any kind of indicators from Powell on what any cuts forthcoming, especially with the dialogue going back and forth to the White House and the Fed. So that's again a week, next week and next Wednesday, and then also important is going to be the August 1 deadline for tariffs and anything related to that. And that could happen anytime this week, whether there be, a new trade deal announced, whether there be, a breakdown in negotiations. Those things will and can move the markets, and that could happen anytime this week or next. And so, again, keep an eye out in the headlines for that. The stock market is up 30% in 3 months. And we've got, gold near an all-time high, stocks near an all-time high, cryptocurrencies all-time high. Meme stocks are exploding, and a lot of stuff going on. And I think it's maybe sounding like a broken record, but with stocks with this historic of a move in such a quick time, it adds risk to the markets. Now, maybe we get some clarity with earnings and the economy, it becomes more on a growth, a stronger growth spurt, and that could defend and support the stock levels. But again, we've got some risk here given the move that we've had. So I'll be back on Wednesday to report. Please like, subscribe, share, as well as give forward any questions, comments, or suggestions. Thank you for listening. Talk to you on Wednesday. Goodbye.